Ladies and gentlemen, entrepreneurs from all over the world, please make welcome the truth guy, Mr. Home-Based Business himself. The man of the hour, everyone's favorite, Kerry Miller.
And good evening, boy. It seems like Winston just flies on in here like a big old 747 jet. And I've been waiting for this Wednesday night for a while. I had an opportunity to have a great artist out of Canada, Susie Corey, who did our first Christmas show this year. And we were talking, and she said, "You need to meet Mike." And she said, "Mike's just an amazing guy." And I said, "Well, I'm going to text him." And she hooked me up here, and it worked out really, really cool. So we've got Mike Anderson on tonight with us. Mike has I put it in the description down there. He's got a pedigree like a racehorse, and we were just talking before the show. And I mean, he's really done it all. He's been a radio broadcaster. He's a producer. He's an artistic director at She's Listening, Musicians Allied Against Ovarian Cancer. We're going to talk about that towards the end of the show. That's very near and dear to my heart. And he's the president of ArtsPublicity, sales and promotion director at Canada Parties, Events, and Entertainment. He's an artistic director at Women in Country. And he feels like I do that, women in country, they kind of get shorted a little bit, and the reason he's involved in that is because he believes, just like I do, that there's some amazing artists out there that really need to be recognized, especially our female artists. And so without further ado, Mr. Mike Anderson, how are you doing today, my friend?
Thanks, Kerry. I'm doing very, very well. Even given the Canadian weather.
It's literally been flooding. I didn't even know it was supposed to rain. And I woke up this morning, and all of a sudden I heard thunder, and I looked outside, and it was absolutely flooding outside. Yeah. But it hasn't been too cold. It's going to get a little bit cold this weekend, but it hasn't been too cold. So, but it's a pleasure to have you on today, buddy. Mike's up in Canada, by the way.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely, my friend. And so, Mike, tell us a little bit about yourself. One thing we like to do on the show is we kind of like to take a look into somebody's life and what took them to where they're at. Was you born in Canada, or are you true blue Canadian? And tell us about your growing up and becoming a part of this industry.
Well, I'm definitely Canadian. I'm actually a military brat. I lived all over Canada, from Nova Scotia to Alberta. So went from the east to the west, and now I've been in Ontario, in Ottawa, since about 1983. So I did my university here, and I've been working in the arts pretty much nonstop since then. And that's everything from visual arts to dance to music.
And now and we were talking, I was asking before the show started. Now, you're not a musician. You
No.
love music.
Yeah.
That's what got you into music.
But
you love artists.
Yeah, no musical talent myself.
So for that person out there that loves music, guys, this is for you. That you love music, you can't play two spoons together. There are opportunities in the music industry because there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes, right, Mike? I mean, there's a lot it takes to put together a show.
Oh, yeah. Everything from dealing with the venues to dealing with the publicity to putting the show together itself physically and working with the artists. So, yeah, there's a whole lot that has to go on. So even if you don't have any talent, you can still get involved in the music industry in a big way.
Oh, absolutely. I tell everybody, matter of fact, you can come be my roadie. I tell everybody all the time, I'd sure like to have a roadie because I sure do get tired of setting up that equipment every show and tearing it down. You go in, you set it up, and you're there for 4 hours, and you have to tear it down and put it back in the car and drive all the way back home. But,
oh, yeah.
So let's talk about COVID. And let's talk about COVID in the entertainment industry. And there couldn't be a better time that I bring you on. We've started a new year, 2021.
Yeah.
2020 was just absolute nightmare for musicians, and
It
we
was a
were talking
write-off. Yeah.
before. Yeah, definitely a write-off.
Yeah.
And it's people don't realize there. You look at the musicians that are filling up the big venues. There's
Hmm.
another 100,000 venues around the country that are shut down. Nobody
Yeah.
can play at.
Yeah.
And these musicians are the ones that get in the car, they drive 200 miles to the next show and they play a couple nights, and 200 miles to the next show and play a couple nights. Let's talk about those musicians. Let's talk about the people who get out there every night grinding, that love it, that want to make it happen. And last year just absolutely shut down musicians all across this world.
Oh, absolutely, and especially now that we're in the lockdown phase here in Canada. Like half the country is basically locked down because of COVID. Everything's closed completely. So we've had to really like look at alternative methods of getting music out there, and that's everything from doing podcasts to doing online shows. And promotion is very, very important.
Probably one of the most, that's important for any business, and that's another reason I brought Mike on, because musicians, promoters, people that are in this industry are some of the greatest, hardest working entrepreneurs I know, because they have to dig it every single day to turn
Yeah.
that nickel over, to make sure that artist is performing, to make sure those venues are ready, to make sure all that stuff comes together for one show. And it just doesn't happen overnight, right, Mac?
No, it's a nonstop business. And especially as well when you're dealing with nonprofits and charities, you have to work extra hard just to get the message out there. Like I'm doing a lot of work with ovarian cancer, and I think that's other charities as well. And you just have to work so hard to get their message out, as well as dealing with the artists and getting their music out there.
Now, you are very big with women in music. You can see on the bottom of the screen there, Mike, focuses on women in country. And we were kind of making a joke, and it's really not a joke, because Miranda Lambert makes sure that everybody knows that there are women in music. She's very vocal about that. And it's really great that you've taken that on and said, hey guys, there are amazing women out there. And I've heard some of the artists that you work with. I listened to them, and they are phenomenal. And so talk about your passion for working with women in music, women in country, and helping them be promoted out there in today's world.
Well, I think there's a real need for promoting women in country, especially up in Canada. I don't know about the States as much, but in Canada, you watch the Canadian Music Awards, and it's all guys. And there's like not a lot of women on there.
Right.
And it's a matter of like getting out there, promoting them, supporting them, putting shows together, and working with them, and just making it happen.
That's a key term, is making it happen. Most people think it just happens on its own. Most people think that, gosh, that person's a musician. They just go out there, they set up, they play, and it takes a lot of work. And obviously in Canada, and I can tell you it's the same here. I hear it, we hear it coming out of Nashville. We hear the women saying, hey, what about us? We're filling up stadiums like the guys are. We're promoting our music. We're doing all these things. And when it comes award time, we're not recognized. Matter of fact, I remember the CMAs. I think it was 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago now. They had a women in country. Everybody that was on the show basically was women in country, yet they still didn't win the awards that they should have won. And so I think it's just a wonderful thing that you've done, is embrace that. Because we had Susie on. You work with Susie.
Yes.
We had Susie on, and she's amazing artist, just and an amazing person. And we're going to talk about Elise here in just a few moments, your next show, because I want to make sure everybody knows to show up for that. Yeah. But talk about what it takes, Mike, to go from concept to promotion to putting the show together, putting the venues together, and putting that whole circle together just for the artist to step on stage?
Well, in normal times, basically, I do a lot of I get in touch with a lot of the venue bookers, and I've set up tours for artists as well across Canada. And another artist that we should talk about, that you should know about, is Andrea Nixon from Edmonton. Her Ontario tour, constantly sitting on the phone, talking to people, talking to publicists, talking to radio people, and just making sure that we get as much promotion and publicity for the show as possible.
And that's the key, right? Publicity, marketing is everything. I don't care what business you're in. Marketing.
Exactly. It's king or queen.
Yes. Yeah, in your case, definitely queen. And getting those folks out there and letting people know that they're there. You've gone from the venue to online, just like every artist out there. Even in promotion, you go from venue to online, and that's we're here tonight online. We're doing a podcast, live podcast online. What has the transition been like for you and for your artist?
The transition hasn't been as difficult as I thought it would be. It's a matter of going through your contacts again and just finding out who's available, who wants to do a show, and just time you cut out the venues, you cut out the middleman, and you just deal with it on your own. I mean, it's not as many people, but it's still just as satisfying. And I've worked with people from Edmonton, from Manitoba, PI, all across the country. And it's just a matter of setting up and scheduling more than anything else, and trying to promote it as well, and working with the artists to promote these shows.
And the artists are heavily involved in the online shows, right? Heavily involved in the promotion, working with that, sharing with their followers and their friends. Yep. Yeah. Now, you're broadcasting on Facebook Lives. Is that the only venue? Are you doing YouTube also?
Facebook Live right now. Working towards YouTube and the other platforms. So again, this is all new to me as well.
Right. Well, give me a call and I can help you with that. We're broadcasting on multi-channels now. We're on Twitter. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. I'm a multi-channel guy, so but I can definitely help you in that direction. I think it's so important that artists have the opportunity to be heard, especially during this period. I mean, I wake up every day and I'll have a video or something pop up where I played a year ago, on Facebook. I'm like, God, if I could just get on stage, if I could just walk on stage and play. Yeah. And it's, you made a good point.
There's nothing like the feeling of live shows.
Yeah, it's a rush, a total rush.
Yeah, which is why I was impressed with Susie doing her driving shows last year, which is just an alternative to get out there and get people going, even during the middle of the COVID.
Right. Yeah, that's really. Matter of fact, I think she's putting one together for Texas. I hope, and I'm looking forward to her coming down. That's going to be really, really cool. Yeah. Let's talk about one of the artists you're currently promoting, and I've got a clip, and I'll tell you guys. Mike made this happen like 20 minutes before the show because I had a creative idea, and I said, "Man, I really want to do this." And but he's promoting a show for Elise, and she's got a song called "Wind Down," and I just want to play a short clip of that. And she's going to be on her online show.
Yeah, January 22nd, 9 p.m.
January 22nd. At 9 p.m. So let me introduce you to Elise, and you're going to love this song. I tell you, when you hear it, you're going to go want to download it. So let me drop this real quick. That's absolutely awesome. I love that song.
And
That's her latest release. Is that correct?
yes.
So you guys make sure you can go to Spotify. I'm gonna post some links for Elise when the show's over. I want to make sure you have the opportunity to listen to her music. She just has an amazing sound. Her show is coming up. It's January the 22nd at 9 p.m. online. We're going to post a link for that also. You're going to want to make sure. And this is where music's gone, right, Mike? I mean, this is where the promotion is today. The online. It's the online video.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is very, very important. And then we were also looking at. Sorry.
To keep them alive, right? To keep them rolling.
Yeah, exactly. And and then we're looking at Valentine's Day show on February 2. And that's actually going to be with my Michaelan Hay, who is from Guelph, Ontario. She's like 18 years old and absolutely fantastic. I've known her for 3 years now.
You need to send me some links to all your artists. I'd really love to promote them.
Yeah.
Would love to do that. As a matter of fact, guys, just to let you know, I was talking to Mike prior to the show. We're going to have a Women in Country Day on the Truth Guy podcast. We're going to get all these gals together and we're going to bring them online and we're going to let you know who they are. It doesn't matter if you're living in the United States or if you're living in Zimbabwe. Great music is great music. And, we would love for you to meet these guests and be a part of what they do. And make sure you go watch Elise. We're going to close up. I want to talk about something that's near and dear to my heart, and that's your She's Listening Musicians Allied Against Ovarian Cancer. My mother, who is my rock, she's my mom is she's my everything, and so I have she's gone through cancer and beat it and 15 years now, 20, probably close to 20 years now. It's been a long time, but you are. This is something that you work with all your country artists, and you did this with your female artists in order to really put that ovarian cancer in the spotlight again.
Yeah, it's one of the lesser known cancers, but it doesn't get the lion's share of the funding, but still it's so important. It's known as a silent killer, and because it affects women, and there's no cure for it really. So I'm really happy to work with a lot of amazing artists on this show, and we're working on a new CD for 2021. Hopefully, it was supposed to be last year, but then COVID came along, and we had to cancel some venues. Had to cancel our promotions, like a show at the Dakota Tavern in Toronto, which would have been really nice, but we had to let that one go by the wayside, and hopefully we'll get it back.
Now, this is you was telling me this She's Listening. This is going to be your third album. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah, and we're looking at some amazing musicians like Melanie Brulé, Barbara Lynn Doran, Dana Sherrick, Francel, Maria Doro. And it's going to be bilingual as well. So we're actually looking at really expanding things and creating something that is very unique. And all the artists have donated their tracks. So all the money is going to go to ovarian cancer.
Oh, how great is that?
That's fantastic. Yeah.
And we'll make sure we post all these links. That way you guys can keep up with this. I mean, cancer touches us all. You know, you can look in Facebook every day. Cancer touches every life. It does not discriminate.
No, not at all.
You know, and this is something that's very important, extremely important to support and support these artists. These artists are giving of their time. They're giving their music and allowing that to raise money for this very, very important cause. And we greatly appreciate you doing that.
Oh, thank you very much. And we're also in the next year, so we're also looking at doing more of a focus on Indigenous artists in Canada as well. So we're looking at some people like Karen LaRange from Vancouver and Lola Parks from Vancouver, who are really
And
amazing.
you was telling me earlier, you find it important. You find these young, amazing artists, and you start helping to groom them, and you start helping to mold them to help their dreams come true. And that is the true sign of a real entrepreneur who gives back in their life to people who would not have the chance.
Yeah, which I'm very happy to do. I mean, these women are amazing, and I want to support them as much as I possibly can.
Absolutely. And there's nothing like grooming an artist, right?
Nothing at all. There's nothing more satisfying than watching someone spread their wings and take off.
I remember when Carrie Underwood won American Idol, the little girl from Oklahoma, that probably just like these folks that you're finding, singing in the backyard, singing in the showers, singing while they do their hair. And next thing you know, all they have to do is be heard, and you feel their heart,
Yeah, and I worked with some people from the Canadian version of American Idol, La Voix, which is on in Quebec.
How cool.
Yeah. So it's the same thing. It's just like magic when they blossom and develop and move onwards.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, you do great things, my friend.
Thank you.
You're on the right track. My hat's off to you for supporting women in the country. And my hat is super off to you for She's Listening, Musicians Allied Against Ovarian Cancer, for what you're doing there. And if there's anything I can ever do to help you promote on multi-channels, you let me know. I'm here for you, buddy.
I would definitely take you up on that one.
Well, we can do some great things in helping to get your artist out there. I'll be getting with Mike. We're going to be putting together a fantastic women's panel. We'll get together and we'll put that together here probably around the March time frame. And we'll probably all still be sitting at the house, scratching our heads.
Yeah, waiting for COVID to go away.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Well, Mike, if you had one, go ahead.
So if I had one,
if you have one closing word for us, for the artist out there who says, "Hey, I want to do this. What do I do?" What would that be?
I think it's just to get out there and make yourself as visible as possible. Like, and the marketing is definitely one thing, but just getting out there and finding ways to get yourself known and heard, that's the important thing.
Get on a corner with a guitar or go down in the subway, right? Let people hear you.
Oh, yeah, busking.
There's quite a bit around that. Quite a bit of that in Dallas. I can guarantee it.
Yeah.
Well, Mike, I want to thank you for coming on, my friend. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Pleasure getting to know you.
You too.
You have an absolute
fantastic.
If everybody can't tell, we've got a little bit of delay in between us here, so we're just kind of stepping all over each other.
The gremlins in the machines.
Well, thank you, Mike. God bless you, buddy, and let's do some work together and get these women in country out there.
Oh, definitely. Thanks, Gary. It's been a real pleasure to talk to you.
It's my pleasure, Mike. You have a great evening, my friend.
You too.
And as always, we're going to close out with my good buddy, Frankie, who we lost this past year with COVID. So take it away, Frankie.